the realization that like it's on us, that like we have the responsibility to take our lives in whatever direction we want. There's always going to be external conditions imposed upon us, but like it's up to us around how we respond and what we do.
And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite.
Let's do this! Come on!
Mounting!
It's too damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around.
3, 2, 1, eagle!
Are these two doctors?
I'm afraid so.
And here we go.
Ooh. Mr. Simon Cooper. Hello.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. It's bloody, you know what? It's October the 1st today, which means it's the 1st of October, which also means that it's been a full 192 days since we last closed the gym. That's almost half a year. That's almost a significant period of time. Almost.
It is a very long time.
And to think of how much happens in 6 months as a whole, it's been pretty hectic to think that.
Yeah.
We've been through 10 episodes of the podcast, one a week, and that's only been 70 days of the 190. So what did we do the first 120? Anything?
It's weird to think how long ago that was, and it feels like it was yesterday. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but at the same time, it's felt like it's been ages since we've been able to.
Does life usually feel like that though, where you're kind of like, oh, that went quick?
Yeah, I think because the days are so similar at the moment, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's not like the exciting things to break it up as much. There's still exciting things happening, but.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, my movie watching is getting exciting, and my book reading is getting exciting, and my journal is the same. So you're right. It's the same shit. It's the same shit, different smell in the best possible way, because it is what it is, and we're dealing with it how we can deal with it. But I'm just fascinated that, so we celebrate our 5th birthday for Virtus in like a month, which means 5 years, which if we were to do some quick maths and extrapolate the data, the last 6 months is obviously 1/10 of that 5-year block.
Mm.
So 1/10 of the lifespan of Virtus has been spent without the gym doors actually open, which is so strange. And to think like, this year's thrown up a whole heap of great things and shitty things and bad things and happy things and challenges and there's been a lot of cortisol. But to think that, 10th of March we were sitting there, and if you were to say, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be closed for 6 months at a minimum because we've still got time to go, I would have told you to stop smoking plants and let's just pay attention to the real world. But here we are in the real world, and this is it. It's all an illusion anyway. It's all made up.
Yeah. It's super weird. Like before the gym closed, we were making plans for the year and all the things we were going to do, and none of them have happened because things have changed.
Things have changed.
Yeah. We've just had to be super adaptive and change how we think about the business from a Virtus standpoint. Like the whole business has completely changed, really.
Yeah, and it's the last couple of weeks I've kind of found, I don't think I've actually shared this with anyone, but I feel like I'm least, what's the way I was articulating it to myself in my journal the other day? I feel like I've never felt like I have no idea what I'm doing more than now. which is probably akin to the fact that it's been such a long period of time without us getting back to normal. And I'm doing the air quotes for everyone listening at home. And, you know, we're trying to do things differently, but we don't have maybe the consistency of having a space where we can go in every day and talk to people and get feedback, and where, you know, we and the team can sit in a room and like actually converse around different ideas and things like that, and put stuff on a whiteboard and write things down. So I kind of feel like a lot of these ideas we're having, or a lot of these things that we're trying to get moving, we're almost putting them out into the void, and that you're not getting that reverberation back, or you're not getting that feedback, you're not getting that consistent flow of conversation, which helps to work through ideas. I don't know. Yeah. That's just how I'm feeling.
Yeah, definitely. We, like what you said then about getting continuous feedback from people. It's like validating an idea. You can't get the feedback that you want because we're having to communicate differently. We're having to interact with our members and our team differently, which we can't. I think we're unused to it. And going forward, there's still quite a few unknowns, and we have the potential to do things so differently. And so it's almost like, where do we start? What direction do we take it? Because there's so many options available to us.
Definitely. And I think there's been ways that people have experienced the last 6 months that are 192 days, if we're going with that, which will be 197 when this podcast releases, which if you listen to it on Monday, great. If you listen to it on Tuesday, 198, doesn't matter. Just pick a random number. But everyone's experienced things that are unique to themselves, but so many have experienced a universal sense of slow and a universal sense of frustration at what's happening, and almost, you know, that unknown is almost the hardest part, which it's also the most exciting part if you shift the way you look at it a little bit. But I can kind of go, well, the way I work and the way we work as a team, we're very collaborative, and the way we communicate with our community, we're very collaborative. And I think that's been a big gap definitely in my, the way I like to go about things.
Yeah. It's a personality thing, maybe. Like someone who is a little bit more maybe introverted is at the moment happy with how things are tracking, and they are happy to communicate when they need to, but the day-to-day interactions, they don't need as much. Where someone who desires and who kind of thrives off that constant interaction with people, it's just different. Like I think a lot of people are just struggling with not having those frequent touch points with people. Definitely. And I think it allows us some pretty cool awareness to kind of go, well, what do I actually need? And I think that's, if anything, like there's, you know, we've spent the last 9 weeks talking about all the great things that have come out of this. Yes, there's lots of shitty things too. But I think, if anything, the biggest takeaway should be like, most of us should now know what we need. Problem is, it changes. The goalposts move, but I, you know, just to use a simple, tangible example, like each week I write my email, and usually I sit at Common Folk, and you know, so whoever's sitting at the table will do a quick read through, and every week I'm like, oi, Coop, like at the moment, because we're at home, I'm like, oi, can you read my email? Just because like I like the collaborative, like bouncing back. What about this? What about this? Change this. You can fix my shitty grammar. So you've taken on the role of many men and women because you're the only one who gives a fuck. Not the only one that gives a fuck. Not true. But you're there. We're usually talking on a Thursday night or a Friday morning, and I say, "Oi, quick, check this out." But times that by, you know, most of what we do, and it's just, I don't know. I've definitely found. Go.
There you go. Now you go. See, this wouldn't happen if we were in the same room, because we'd be able to lean on each other's cues, and we wouldn't interrupt. But anyway.
Yeah, I definitely
Like
feel
what I
like
was saying.
Wait, you go.
There you go.
I definitely feel like the feedback loops are different. We're fortunate that we talk frequently and we're able to bounce ideas off one another, and like we are similar in a lot of ways, but we also we don't always agree on everything. So I think we challenge each other enough to know when an idea is bad and not and know when an idea is good.
Like I'm putting together a presentation at the moment, and I had it how I was going to run it, and then Simon goes, "What do you think about this?" And I changed the whole thing, and I went, "I don't like that. I'm going back to how it was." So I wasted an hour just like it was good because we explored another idea, but no, I had my plan, and now I want your iterations on the plan. I don't want to change the whole plan.
Now you know that your plan will work.
Well, I hope it will. Maybe your plan was better. Now I'm doubting it again. What do I do?
If anyone can help Lachlan with his presentation next week, then please reach out.
Oh, mate. I've gone off the deep end.
What are the things that you're going to take into regular life when we can be back with one another again and we're able to sort of interact normally? What are the things you're going to take with you from now?
Honestly, how much I'm going to enjoy hugging people. So it's funny. It's like a funny little line that one of our friends said. Worm, hello. She said, "I can't wait to go back and not appreciate the little things for a little while," which obviously is a little bit tongue in cheek, but I'm looking forward to not appreciating the little things for a moment, just to be like in the hustle and bustle of day-to-day life, to be like in the slog of like, you know, people talking in every direction and stuff happening, and just to be in the speed of it all again. I'm really looking forward to that. But in terms of like actionable, what am I going to take from it? I think it's been an evolution of over the last 6 months in terms of like what I need and what I want, and what I want for Virtus and things like that. I'm very much looking forward to kind of like getting my bearings in the space, because obviously like we got a few things that we want to do with it. We got like, you know, we're about to kind of go through, I guess the first quarter of this year was kind of spent gearing us up for a few big changes we were potentially going to make, and a few things we were going to launch, and, you know, a few targets we were trying to hit. So putting that on the back burner as such, and like pivoting, there's been an unprecedented use of the word pivoting this year, and I'm over it. I don't want to say that ever again, but I'm looking forward to going back to what we were doing, in terms of like showing up early, coaching good people, helping them get where they want to get to, and almost like going back to the fundamental reasons as to why we started Virtus. The other things will still happen in the background, you know, around Virtus University and around a few of the other projects we've kind of got in the pipeline. But just for at least a couple of weeks, I'm looking forward to that. And I think from a mindset perspective, the reminders that this period has taught us, things like control what's in control what's in your control, cultivate awareness around those things, and then distribute your energy dependent on what is most important. And I think that will, I don't know, I guess it's a perspective thing. This isn't going to last forever. What we're like, this whole thing, like COVID's shown how fragile our existence is. And I say fragile, like nothing's really broken. I think, you know, we majority of people will be able to, it might take a while, but it will be able to get back to the jobs they were doing or the businesses they were running. You know, like it sucks. A lot of businesses are going to go under. A lot of good businesses are going to go under out of no fault of their own. And part of me is very empathetic with that, because we could be one of them. I don't think we will be. I think we'll make it through, but we could be one of them. Part of me is very empathetic with that. But then I kind of think, well, to all the business owners out there, this is what you signed up for. So, whatever happens. Let's do our best and then move forward. I can't remember your question. I kind of went rambling a little bit there, but I think the main thing is just an awareness around what I need and what we as a community need. And I think the importance of just being with people will be the biggest.
Yeah. Mm.
And how much better black coffee is than white coffee? What was I doing with my life?
I like black coffee. Give me black coffee 80 days a week. This is a side note. I probably should have a bit of time off coffee because I have consumed a lot over the last 6 months.
You said 500 mils in it a second ago.
Yeah.
It now does, and it does not anymore.
I feel like that was full.
Yeah, good.
But I agree with everything you said. Having an appreciation for being around people, and I get what you say about like being in the hustle and bustle again, and kind of just existing for a while, and kind of just like getting back into that routine and kind of existing in the day-to-days. I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways is the realization that like it's on us, that like we have the responsibility to take our lives in whatever direction we want. There's always going to be external conditions imposed upon us, but like it's up to us around how we respond and what we do with it. Like we could have sat back over the last 6 months and like cruised and just not done anything. But we made the conscious decision to keep serving our community and keep engaging with people, and not just sit back and like let the government support just carry us through.
And I think we can look at it now and go, yeah, well, that was the right decision. But at the same time, it's added so much extra challenge to our existence, which isn't a bad thing. But like, I feel like I mean this in the best possible way, but I feel like I've never worked harder for. Yeah. I've never squeezed harder for less juice.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
And I mean that in the best possible way.
I feel the same. I think like probably one of the main stresses at the moment is a financial one, from a business and a personal perspective. And I think like we're not alone in feeling that.
No, definitely not.
And I think when things start to open up again and it sort of starts to stabilize, we'll get a better feeling for whether that stress is like founded on anything.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be, I don't know, who knows, but I guess I'm definitely more mindful about how I spend my money at the moment. Mostly because there's not much left, but also because there's, I want to spend it local. I want to spend it to people. Like I want to almost know where it's going. So, I've been thinking about, okay, what are I want to do a couple of this is like maybe a little sidebar, but I want to do a couple of little challenges over the next 12 months or so. Mm-hmm. There's four areas of wealth, right? There's financial wealth, there's physical wealth, financial wealth, money, physical wealth being health, being able to do cool things. There's social wealth, which is your ability to kind of like have a good reputation that is backed in doing good things, and time wealth, just freedom, being able to do whatever you want to do. And I was setting, because I'm really struggling with goals at the moment, which because I don't know, I'm almost too comfortable with a lot of things, which I feel as though I shouldn't be, and maybe that's just society telling me that. But I was trying to set like a specific challenge in each one of those areas for next year, or for the next 6 months or whatever it may be. So I pulled the trigger on one of them as of 12 o'clock last night. On the time wealth is no social media. See you later. Adios. Arrivederci. Is it?
Good. Bit of Italiano.
And I always want to set one for each of them. And one of my, like, I was thinking of financial. I was like, maybe we could, everything that I have the capacity to, I want to buy local, right? So if it's fruit and veg, I want to buy it from a farm. If it's meat, I want to buy it from a local butcher. If it's clothing, I want to buy it from probably just a Sanko. Like, I want to almost have each of those things as local as I can be for a period of time, just to, anyway, what was I talking about? Money, spending. And that was kind of the challenge, and then go, okay, well, how can we distribute that wealth amongst our community more? But it's almost like that wealth might not be there to distribute with our community. Like, as much as I want to go, hey, I'm going to buy all my clothes from the Snake Isle, I might not have any money to buy clothes next year. I might have to stay with the 700 Virtus and Common Folk t-shirts I've got in my cupboard, which is fine. But I don't know. I just think it's, we don't know. I don't think we're going to see the proper effects of this until like mid next year, when the government support's gone, when nothing in this world is free. It's like, we've got to pay it back in some way, somehow. And it'd be nice if the politicians, if you're listening, ScoMo, if you didn't give your mates big tax breaks, and you just, maybe someone at the top end takes some of the collateral of, looking after the little guy. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Give me a bell if you want to have a chat about it.
At least he's probably paying more than $750 in tax.
Is he though? Maybe.
I don't know. But let's not.
So that's for next week's bonus episode, which we'll give you guys a little inkling in next week. That's going to be fun. There will be beers, and there will be some robust discussion. Let's go with that. But I kind of go, like, the optimistic part of me goes, well, everything will be fine, because it has to be, because we'll figure it out. We'll do the best we can with what we've got. The pessimistic part of me goes, next year, from a financial perspective, it's going to hit hard, because government support will stop, people's spendings will drop because we're worried about not being able to afford certain things. And again, most of the things that I'm talking about are probably could put in the category of luxuries. But I have grown accustomed to a certain way of living, Simon.
No, yeah. I get.
I don't know how it's going to play out, what it's going to look like, how people are going to react.
Definitely, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. At the same time, like, the wealth is somewhere. Like, it's not just vanished; it's just being funneled to other places.
Well, it gets made up out of thin air in the first place, so.
One can assume that it vanishes the same way.
Little side note, read this book if you want to learn more about money and how it's made up.
For those who are listening to audio, talking to my daughter about the economy.
or how capitalism works and how it fails, by Yanis Varoufakis. It's I'm going to read this over and over and over and over again. It's brilliant. It's
Lucy will be an economist before long.
An economist. It's just, I can't believe how, like, I get why everything is the way it is. This is very similar to Sapiens. Anyone, like, you guys have heard me bang on about Sapiens, but it's got a very similar vibe in terms of, like, this is why the things the way they are, and this is what we can maybe do about it, but here's why these things haven't happened in the past. Like, it talks about Bitcoin and things like that, and decentralized currency, and he talks about, like, why it's probably never going to work while we still have nations and states and things like that. But keep talking. It does go somewhere, maybe. It's redistributed. So obviously, your Bezos and your your Gates of the world have significantly increased their net worth. This is next week's discussion anyway.
Yeah. I think coming into
Bring it back
next year,
grassroots.
there will still be a lot of opportunities for
Yeah,
individuals
100%.
and businesses, which is
Well, I always
exciting
want to challenge us to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not rest on our heels, to actually like look for those opportunities, like actively look for those opportunities for next year.
time to go on defense, to go on offense rather than defense.
Let's make some risks. Take some risks.
Yeah, that's the exciting part, is the opportunity and the people who will step into that opportunity, and to see what happens. While, like you said, unfortunately, there'll be a lot of businesses that go under. There will be, I believe that there will be an equal number of businesses who rise up and start doing good things.
Great time to start a business.
So that's exciting. I think that's a silver lining, right?
If we dig really deep, if we look really far into the clouds, we'll find one. There's one there. We're just going to have to do some digging.
Like you said, Lachlan, we are all sitting in the gutter. Some of us are just looking toward the stars.
I didn't say that. Oscar Wilde said that, but that's my quote of the week for everyone playing at home. We are all in the gutter. You are correct. Depends where you look. Don't look down, look up. And if it's cloudy, look for the silver lining.
Yeah. You asked a question in the Vertus family the other day around how everyone's feeling, better, same or worse than when we went into lockdown and all the restrictions came into place. What are you?
I don't know which part of me are you talking to, the eternal optimist or the current pessimistic version of me? No, well, so I asked that question because I was talking to a few people who were maybe repeating like the defeatist attitude of, fuck Dan, fuck ScoMo, fuck all this is bullshit. Like, they've taken away my, like, what I do and things like that. And to quote Viktor Frankl, not all of it can be taken away. There's one thing left to you, and that is the last of human freedoms, which is to make a choice as to how you're going to intercept any given circumstances that you are faced with. And I butchered that, but you get the point. I did it because of those 3 or 4 conversations that I had were all pointing towards this is the worst thing that's ever happened and we're all doing horrible and we need to go back to the gym. And I posted it up and I don't have access to it anymore. So if you want to tell me the exact numbers, but I think about 60% of people said they were feeling better. And the question was, are you feeling better, same or worse for your mental and physical well-being than you were 6 months ago? I think it was about 60% better, maybe like 20, 30% same, and 20% worse. And I thought it was fascinating because the majority of people are doing better if we go by those stats and just go by the people that answered it. And maybe there's some people that didn't answer it that are doing worse, that just didn't want to put it up, or whatever. That's I guess what we're trying to figure out by talking to each person individually. But I said better because I'm running more than I have in a long time. I'm like actively looking forward to running tomorrow. Mentally, I feel as though, like I said before, about from a work perspective, I feel like I've no fucking clue what I'm doing. And I guess I've always felt like that in a way. But I guess maybe having people to talk to and knowing we're helping people day to day and having that instant feedback in sessions and things like that, that reminds me that I do know what I'm doing. And then like, I feel like I'm more capable mentally than I was 192 days ago, but maybe there's more noise currently because there's not that outlet to give it. Like I was flicking through my journal before, and looking at, because this journal, this particular book, has been from the 19th of June. So I'm 3 months into it, and like you can tell, I can kind of get an idea of where my head was at each point in time by looking at the journal entries and looking at the quotes on the left. Like there was a fair chunk of like existentialism early on, and then there was like a lot about biases and how we kind of look at things, and lately it's kind of just been around like controlling the controllables and looking after the little things and things like that. And ultimately I feel like I'm probably, this is a long way of me saying I'm probably in a better space, but I've still had some really tough days.
For sure.
Like how grumpy was I on Monday?
Grumpy boy.
I was such a grumpy boy.
Even Mitch pulled you up on it.
Yeah, and this is like King Grumpy himself. He's
Mitch, if you're listening, we love
Sir
you.
Grump. I love him to bits so much. I just want to cuddle him. Oh, I can't wait to cuddle him. Grumpy as fuck, which happens, but I just couldn't. I was just in a shitty headspace. I was like, of all the fucks I've had to give this year, I had none left. I was out. I had an empty bottle of fucks, empty barrel of fucks, empty bag of fucks, whatever you want to say. So here's a little sidebar. I love that on the podcast, because it's ours, we can say and do whatever we want. But every time I swear, like a little bit of Simon dies inside. So if you're watching, just every time I say a swearsy, just look at him, and it's hilarious because he just winces just a little bit. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Trying to keep it PG here.
Nah, life's not PG. People die. People swear. It's okay. What are we talking about? Oh, grumpy. So I was super grumpy, and
You have those days, right?
Well, that's it. We have those days, and we pull ourselves out of it. And I was talking to Gratz, the great man, and he said, how have you been? I said, honestly, yes, I was grumpiest I've been in a long time. And he goes, yeah, but how are you today? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, good. Well, there's your capacity to pull yourself out of the hole.
Carry on.
And it was just like I feel like maybe I'm better equipped to deal with whatever shit life throws at us now than I was 6 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, I look at some of the journal entries that I wrote, or some of the blogs that I wrote 2 years ago, and I go, why don't I know that now?
Yeah. We just need...
Sometimes we need the same lesson multiple times, and that's okay. What about you?
We need to remind ourselves. I think I'm better. My physical health...
You didn't say that last week.
Did I not? What did I say?
No, when we'd spoken in the team, you said same.
Yeah, okay. I think...
It's good. This is progress, Simon. We are moving forward.
Look, if you ask me again next week, then
I will.
Probably have something different. But
next week's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. The
bonus
bonus episode. Oh, you guys are in for a treat.
I think if you ask me that before the bonus episode, it'll be a very different answer to after the bonus episode.
I'm gonna fix it all.
Depending on how closely I moderate you.
I'm going off the ledge.
No, I think I'm better. My physical health is probably not what it was. I think I was far more consistent with my training beforehand. In saying that, I've been rowing on the rower for the last 2 weeks, and it's been awesome. I think thank you, Christian, my favorite. I think it's because I'm sitting down so much and just been at the desk and just like getting back, settling into those bad postures and
staring at the screens
for sure. So that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to, going back to in person where we're not in front of the screen as much. Mm-hmm. But I've actually quite enjoyed the slowness of life a little bit, and like settled into my routine of waking up, going for a walk, having coffee, sitting down, and getting stuck into work. And I'm also optimistic for the future and what's coming next.
Yes.
For on a personal level, and on a collective level, I think for like people around me and Virtus as a whole and the community. We've got a lot to look forward to, I think. So, yeah, on a mental and emotional level, I'm pretty good. I have days as well where I'm a little bit more stressed and things come up a little bit more. And I think the biggest thing for me is just feeling apathetic toward doing things. I just feel like it's just another day. Like what? Like whether I sit on my butt all day or whether I do work, it's not going to change anything.
That's a really, really good word for how a lot of people are feeling at the moment. I articulated that to our COVID Games team Wallace on Monday. I was like, guys, I just want to check in, see how everyone's going. From my personal point of view, I feel apathetic towards all things Virtus at the moment. There was a couple of days that I felt it, but I haven't felt like that in a long time. But it helps to identify it and then be able to talk about it. Yeah. Because the apathy can come from a bunch of different sources, but it's just come from the situation that we find ourselves in, and the inability to get that feedback that we spoke about before.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you do if you feel apathetic? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you pull yourself out of it?
I think part of it is giving myself space to feel that, and then almost like lowering the expectations of what I try to achieve. I think a lot of the time, this is my Monday issue, where I set myself a whole bunch of tasks and then get one of them done for the day, and then feel I'm hard on myself that I didn't get as much done as I wanted.
Well, yes, you should be. Like, what do we pay you for?
Yeah. So I think lowering those expectations a bit and being kinder to yourself, or kinder to myself. Yeah. But then also revisiting like why I'm doing things. I had a day on, I think it was Tuesday, where I spent a whole block in the morning going through, like, revisiting my values and my principles and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And after that, I was pumped. Like, I was ready to get stuck into work and ready to like just do things. So I think like revisiting, like doing a little bit of reflection and a bit of like creativity stuff has been really beneficial for me. And then just like connecting with people, connecting with Sally Ann and my folks, and like having a few people like you and the rest of the team to bounce off has been really great. So it's been challenging, of course, but I think like I am definitely an optimist, and I'm looking forward to like what comes next. Really, it's nothing's forever, except
this
for diamonds.
too shall pass.
This too shall
diamonds
pass.
aren't forever,
aren't they? No, the song lied to us.
What song?
Isn't there a song about diamonds being forever? Or is that a James Bond film?
Well, maybe it was a James Bond dealio. Well, and again, my life is structured with quotes as the pillars, as we know.
I just want to interrupt you for a second by saying that Diamonds Are Forever is a James Bond film, filmed in 1971.
Oh, is it actual film?
It is.
Is that Sean Connery?
Or
is that too early?
It is Sean Connery, yes. Yep.
Oh, see?
How good. Sorry, as you were. Carry on.
What was I talking about? Quotes. Here's the quote that I think perfectly sums up the last 6 months. And it's very generalized for me to go, hey, I'm going to summarize 192 days of existence into 17 words, but deal with it. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Not even 17 words. Charles Dickens.
Good.
The full quote. Do you want to hear the full quote? I'm 80% sure it's him talking about the French Revolution. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch, which is my new favorite word, of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. There's 2020 in a nutshell. And you know what? I can't even share it on social media, Simon. I can't get little hits of dopamine and validation. Oh, it's upsetting. So if anyone's listening to this and you like that quote, please send me a carrier pigeon or a express post parcel or something. Send me an email. Tell me what you think. Old-fashioned email. Or send it to Simon. He'll pass it on. That might be the basis of my journal for today. So
yeah, I like that.
I reckon it was 3 weeks ago as well. But anyway, each line of that, it's like some days it was the season of darkness, some days it was the spring of hope. You know, some days it was the winter of despair. It's all of these things and more.
Yeah. We're going to look back at this time in 10 years and think, remember that COVID time when we were stuck inside for six months? And we'll laugh.
People say stuck inside, man. We can go outside. You can do whatever you want. Shut up.
I know.
Like, people use the term house arrest. It's not. This is so not house arrest.
It could be a whole lot worse, right?
It could be so much worse. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of perspective or short-sightedness, but in terms of the hard things humans have had to endure over the last hundreds of years, millennia, we go back as far as, since we climbed down from the trees, since we crawled out of the water. This is among the most peaceful, enjoyable, most connected time ever, even though we're stuck inside and X, Y, Z. Like, we have the capacity to have these conversations and to share it with people. And, Netflix exists, you cowards. Books exist. It's not that bad. And that kind of thought process just makes me go, like, what are we worrying about?
Yeah.
But when we get, like, it's easy to get caught in that feedback loop of this sucks, this is hard, fuck Dan Andrews, why am I wearing a mask, et cetera, et cetera. But ultimately, your ability to shift that focus towards the things that are within your control is going to determine how your life is, or how you view your quality of life.
Yep.
So, if you're in the gutter, look up. Look at the stars. What's the daytime?
Yeah, that gratitude piece is pretty powerful, and I think it's definitely helped me over the last few months. And we are super fortunate, and this is a blip on the timeline of our lives. So
it is. Yeah. The quality of your mind is the quality of your life. Full stop.
Yeah. What's something you're looking forward to? Let's round out.
Hugging people. I'm most looking forward to. What am I most looking forward to? There's a lot of things. I'm looking and this is the thing. There's so much to look forward to, and there's so much to be grateful for. I'm looking forward. What am I looking forward to? There's so many things. I don't know where to start. I'm looking forward to having a beer around a table with a couple of guys and just talking shit and just, actually connecting over food or beer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the podcast next week where I get to talk rubbish for a couple of hours. It's going to be the dream. I think it's going to be the best one we've ever done. And I don't care if no one listens, but it's going to make me feel better. I'm looking forward to banter and just talking absolute dribble. I'm looking forward to 6 a.m. VGTs. I'm looking forward to, getting back into the gym, into our space, and just seeing people. I hope that we can get to and then surpass like previous membership numbers, so that we know good people are doing good things, and we can, you know, support everyone in their journey back to normality. And normality will look different to what it did before. That's fine, but at least we can support our community in that. I don't know. I'm looking forward. There's so many things to look forward to, and when I have those thoughts, I'm like, what? Like, why was I grumpy 3 days ago? But I need to have those days. We all need to have those days. But it's a matter of going, okay, well, what can I do? What can we do to pull ourselves out of them, and to get ourselves in a better headspace?
Definitely.
What about you? What are you excited for?
I'm looking forward to giving Lucy a cuddle.
Oh, she's going to be
Yes.
like, who are all these people? And why are they not talking to me through headphones?
Yeah. Looking forward to the warm weather, and I'm really looking forward to, I only realized this like a day or two ago, but I am actually really looking forward to training in the gym again.
Oh, so much.
Yeah. Like I'm echoing everything you're saying. I'm really looking forward to like building the gym and creating an organization where we attract really cool people, and we can invest in their development, and then that just kind of snowballs into them investing in other people's development. And
I really want to put the veggie patch at the front of the gym. I don't know. I've just had that in my head that we're going to do it. And I'm really excited to, you know, pick a Saturday and build it and get some soil delivered and get a veggie patch ready to go to harvest some things. The circle of life, Simon.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah. Like it's a simple thing, but I guess it's more of it's a symbol for that hard work that allows us to create something that didn't exist beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for the Eagles to kick the Pies' ass on Friday.
Isn't it Saturday?
Saturday.
You're a terrible supporter. You don't even. You're such a bandwagoner.
I'm going to be sitting there Friday night, ready to roll.
Drinking your cat amongst pigeons. It's going to be a magpie amongst the Eagles rather than a cat amongst pigeons.
Side note: protect yourselves from magpies. It's magpie season. They're swooping.
I remember vividly as a child us riding down to the park and getting swooped by magpies, and like we, you know, chuck ice cream containers on top of your helmets and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Part of me thinks it's a childhood myth, because I've like been walking every day. I've been running, and I've been like eyeballing magpies that go past, and nothing. Donuts. Do something, you cowards.
Yeah. They've got a few around here, and they've definitely been looking at us out of the corner of their eyes as we walk past. No swoops yet.
That's so good. Good.
Any more for anyone?
Good. I don't think so. I think we could go off a couple more ledges, but let's save that for next week.
So next week.
So I guess thank you to everyone who's listened to the last 10 episodes. We hope you've got something out of it. You know, I guess the whole idea around season 2 was to talk about the things that we can do to make our lives better in the short term, but to build habits and thought processes that allow us to grow our capacity to cultivate more good things longer term as well. Hopefully the last 6 months has taught you all as much as it's taught us, and hopefully we can all take all those lessons into how we operate going forward. You know, if you haven't listened to the first 9 episodes and you're listening to this one, what are you doing? Start from the start. Get amongst it. Each one kind of builds on the last, and we talk a lot of the same topics, but we just want to give you guys the capacity and allow you the space to grow your ability to deal with the good things and the bad things that life throws at us. And I think next week, just as a bit of a teaser. Here's the deal. It's called Season 2 bonus episode, Lockie and Coop Save the World. So what we're planning is I'm going to have a pile of beers next to me, and we're going to tackle 4 or 5 of the biggest issues that the world is dealing with at the moment. And then we're going to talk through what our solutions are for them. So, we'll touch on climate change, we'll touch on government, we'll touch on social media. Anything else?
Education, potentially.
Yeah, definitely education. And our plan is, I think we might go like we'll set the old Pomodoro tomato timer. We'll give this guy a go, and we'll set it for maybe 15 minutes per topic, and we'll go off the ledge, and we'll just see what we can come up with. And it'll be a bit silly. It'll be a bit left of center.
We're going to dive in head first and not look back. We're just
going to challenge the way things work from our own biased perspectives. So it'll be a bit of fun. If there's anything that you guys want us to attack or to dive into or to pull apart, like, anti-vaxxers or whatever it may be, I'm happy to have a crack at anything. and here's why. And I'll happily pull shreds off like my beliefs as well, my belief systems, because I think we should be able to challenge all this stuff because it allows us to identify what our biases actually are and where we might be flawed in our current logic or current thinking. Because I think the things are the way they are because of there's justifications and reasons for it. The grass is always greener, so we can always look at different ways of doing things and go, oh, that would be better, but in reality it wouldn't. So yeah, we're just gonna go through that. Pull apart capitalism, pull apart flat earth, pull apart conspiracies, etc., etc.
Be a bit of fun. Stay tuned.
Basically be you telling me not to swear and me arguing about things like polio. I don't know, who knows?
Yeah. I'll just be trying to pull you back to reality a little bit.
But hopefully
reality is just our perception of...
Exactly. So it's all made up. So what are you trying to pull me back to? Your own reality. What you decide is true
back to my
is
reality.
What real. My reality is it's going to be fun.
It will be fun. If you have enjoyed the season, we would love it if you were able to give us a review. Spread the love, so to speak. The more people that listen in, the more collective capacity we have to deal with adversity and come out of the other side of this thing a little bit more positive, a little bit more capable.
More validation I get that people want to listen to me talk.
Now that Lockie doesn't have social media, he needs validation through other means. So
seriously,
please review to help him.
You're going to have to tell me when we get reviews though.
I'll let you know. Cool.
Good. All right. Get out of here. See you, team. It's been a pleasure.
Ciao.
See you next week.